Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics and specifically a structure that I think the Blues, Democrats, are going to need to pick up in the period between 2021 and 2024 in order to accomplish some of their goals, right? Some of their goals. And this specifically has to do with accomplishing something when you have very little actual power, and when what you need to accomplish, you need to get it through somebody who has a lot of power, because that's going to be the dynamic that is coming forward in 2021 to 2024. And in order to do this, we're going to highlight a map for this type of activity that came out of a very unusual source, which is the comic book Super Sons. It's a DC comic book featuring the son of Superman and the son of Batman. Let's get into it. All right. So I'm currently reading an amazing comic book. It came out, I think, between 2017, 2018. It's a 16-issue series of comic books called Super Sons. It happened in the DC Rebirth period. And it was written by Peter Tobasi, and Jorge, and it was it was actually drawn by Jorge Jimenez. And I'm mentioning those both because it was truly an incredible work of comic book mastery, right? This is one of those super, super rare comic books where it is written amazingly and drawn amazingly. It is a phenomenal comic book, one of the very best I've ever read. Really, really digging it, and it's really fantastic, and I highly, highly recommend it. Spoilers for Super Sons in this content. All right, so basically the structure in this comic book puts forward something I think is that the Democrats, the Democrats, are going to need to do to the Reds, the Republicans, between 2021 and 2024. And when I read it on the page, I'm like, this is the map for the next 4 years for the Blues, all right? So I'm gonna be super honest with you. I am really going through a wasteland right now, politically, emotionally, and emotionally, right? My emotions are tied to the politics of this nation. And I will tell you right now, I have never in my life, in the 50 years I've been on this planet, been more hopeless about the future of leadership in America, right? We had this incredible leader, Andrew Yang, who was presented to the people. Andrew Yang did the most flawless job I've ever seen, presenting a complex structure for America to America. It was UBI. The Andrew Yang platform for UBI is absolutely flawless. There's really never been anything like it. It was just a brilliant plan for America to literally just sweep poverty away like it was a minor problem, right? It would have set up an economic structure for the United States of America that was near flawless as far as economically. And Andrew Yang would have served as a leader that would have, the greatest leader in 10 generations. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. And America saw Andrew Yang, had literally 7 or 8 debates to see him talk. They got to hear him talk in short form interviews, long form interviews. America had 18 months to get to know Andrew Yang. He's presented in full light, and UBI has never in the world, in a U.S. history, has never been presented better than Andrew Yang presented it. America said hard reject on Andrew Yang, hard reject on UBI. I believe UBI is fully dead. I believe Andrew Yang is now a free agent, right? Just like a powerful human force. I don't think he has any possibility of being elected in 2024. And I want to make this clear because some of the people who watch this channel haven't fully understood where I stand with Yang. I think Andrew Yang is a great leader, right? But the reality is, America, there's no better presentation of Andrew Yang than we got in 2020. The presentation of him in 2024 would be far worse. Andrew Yang will have been drugged through, a whole bunch of problems And the reality is, I just don't feel that he's going to be a stronger bid in 2024 than he is right now in 2020, right? And it was a hard reject from the American people, right? So now what we're left is Donald Trump. I don't need to tell you the problems with Donald Trump. You've been seeing him for 4 years, and we're about to get 4 more. And Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is like, he is a lot of things rolled up into one. One, he is a massive lesson that the blue power base has fully lost any ability to strategize or build tactics, right? Because they actually really thought that Joe Biden was going to be able to secure a win in 2020, which now, in my opinion, looks absolutely ludicrous. I don't think the only thing that we're determined is what percentage of 1% Joe Biden has of winning this election. He has virtually no possibility of winning the election, and it seems like every single week he makes a decision which almost makes it even more significant that he has no ability to win this election, right? So I just have been truly hopeless, right? And so what I'm positive, right? 99% chance Donald Trump is president in 2021, right? And he's going to go all the way through 2024. And we already know he can do this because Ronald Reagan did the same thing, right? So he is older, but not nearly as old as Joe Biden. But I think he's going to be able to get through this next presidency, especially based on the health we've already seen from him. He looks much healthier than Joe Biden. And the fact that we even need to discuss whether a president is going to be able to finish their term, we need to get away from this, right? From now on, personally, my vote, right? I want to see somebody who is not reaching the age of retirement during their 8 years of presidency, right? And I'm going to reserve my vote for people who are not in a zone of retirement. These retirement presidents are a problem, right? All right, so we're going to have 4 more years of dealing with the same thing we did here, right? And Democrats are going to still need to get things done. So how do they do that, right? And so one of the things I was really delighted to see is in this Super Sons comic, there is a map for how to get things done. All right, so let's talk about that, okay? So what is the map to get things done when you have very little power and the person you need to get things done through has a ton of power? Well, the Super Sons book is Superboy, who has all the powers of Superman reduced minus flight, right? So Superboy at this point, he's 13 years old. Damian Wayne, Robin, is 13 years old, and this is the story of those two interacting to be superheroes together, right? It's a brilliant story. It's kind of an adventure story. It's almost like a little bit of a buddy cop story. It's a buddy story. That's a better way to say it. They're buddies in this, right? But not at the beginning. And so one of the things is the map that I'm about to tell you, Damian and Superboy, Damian, Robin, and Superboy are really not together at all. Like they're rivals. They're not enemies, but they're rivals. Okay. So basically, the Super Son story tells this story of, and let me put down who these people are. So Superboy is the son of Lois Lane and Superman. Okay, and then Damian Robin, right? Robin, who is Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne is his mother is Talia al Ghul, who is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, who is who controls the Lazarus Pit in the DC comics, right? So Damian Wayne is the meanest, cruelest, most hardcore Robin that has ever been created. He's literally the son of a supervillain's daughter, Talia al Ghul, who is now dead. His mother is dead, and all that's left for his parenting is Bruce Wayne as Batman, and Bruce Wayne as Batman. Bruce Wayne is incredible as far as training a Robin to make sure that he's going to be replaced when he takes off the cowl, right? And Damian Wayne is an incredible little Batman, but he is a terrible son and a terrible human being because Bruce Wayne is a terrible father, right? So Damian Wayne, so when we start in Super Sons, Damian Wayne is solving a mystery involving Lex Luthor, and he is pitting himself, Damian Wayne, Robin, is pitting himself directly against Lex Luthor, which is a major supervillain of Superman, right? And he's intending to complete this on his own, right? Well, Batman talked to Superman and started training their sons together, and so that's how they met and that's how they know each other, right? So at the beginning of this comic, Damian goes to Robin and says, "Hey, I need you to help me solve this this adventure. You know, I need to help solve this investigation with Lex Luthor, right?" And Superboy says to Robin, "I don't want to do that." And Robin's like, "Well, I really need you," and he cajoles him into going along with him, right? And Superboy doesn't want to do it, right? So they get there, and so they go into the investigation, and Robin is doing everything he can to solve this investigation and to take down Lex Luthor, right? And in the middle of all this, Lex Luthor catches Superboy and Robin, right? Now, they're escaping with the evidence that they found to solve this investigation, and Robin takes Superboy, and Lex Luthor captures them. Actually, he catches them at the top of a building, right? And so at this point, Lex Luthor's going to take the two of them into custody, probably turn them over to their parents, take all their evidence, and Robin's going to fail, right? So Robin actually takes Superboy and throws him off a building, right? And at this point, like I said, Superboy can't fly, right? So Lex Luthor knows, you know, if he allows Superman's son to be harmed on, you know, and he was in the presence of that, he's going to face the wrath of Superman. So he has to save Superboy. Robin uses the putting Superboy into danger as a means of escape for himself, and he takes all the evidence he needs to pin Lex Luthor in this investigation. So Robin, 13-year-old Robin, defeats Lex Luthor by using Superboy as a tool, right? Very cruel, very calculated, very Batman, right? And one of the things I was looking at is I'm like, this is where we're at. This is going to be 2021 to 2024 for the Dems, right? The Dems are going to be Damian Wayne, Robin, right? And Trump is going to be Superboy. He's going to have limited superpowers, and he is going to be incredibly difficult to deal with, right? And the reality is, Robin needed Superboy to accomplish his goals, and the Dems are going to need Trump to accomplish their goals, right? And they're going to have to do it by cajoling him and then using timing to throw him off, political buildings virtually, not literally, right? And basically, and the reason why is I love this story. And by the way, this is a DC classic. DC does this all the time. They love to show Batman absolutely rule against Superman and defeat Superman, right? Because it's a classic story of this person has literally no superpowers, just tactics and strategies, and very little actual power, but he defeats this superpowered being all the time. And so the Superboy being defeated by Damian Wayne Robin, is the same story. It's just tactics and strategies with very limited power, defeating somebody who has really superpowers, right? And that's exactly the platform, the map. That's the only way the Democrats are going to be able to get anything done between 2021 and 2024. So what does this actually look like as far as putting this into actual effect, right? And making this work as a part of reality, right? Well, I can tell you, here we go. So the way that you would actually make this work and get this accomplished is, first and foremost, the Blues, the Dems, are going to need to identify their greatest tacticians and their greatest strategy, and also their scrappiest political fighters, right? And they're going to need to put them in positions of power and place them and then resource them, right? Give them the tools they need, the training they need, and the support they need to do incredibly well-timed, incredibly careful execution, choosing what they want to accomplish and taking the right moves at the right time to accomplish it, right? So it still can be done. And so so the Blues are gonna have to find their best educated, best political thinkers, their best, most savvy political minds, and put them in positions of power and resource them. That is how they're going to need to position themselves to do exactly what Damian Wayne, Robin, did to Superboy, using him as a tool to defeat Lex Luthor. You know, and that's exactly, it's going to be the only path to getting things done between 2021 and 2024. And while it's alarming that it's going to have to be that difficult, it gives us hope, because at least there is a path, right? Now we just need to hope that the Blues can consolidate themselves enough, organize themselves enough, determine their desires clearly enough to accomplish these goals. All that's my opinion. Do you think I'm right? Do you think this is the only path to get things done between 2021 and 2024? Or do you think there's another path? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.